What the fuck is up, y'all? Mr. Mac and Hose back for Wednesday, apparently, because I have spent since pretty much Saturday evening dying. I know I made a video on my channel the other day, but through that whole thing I was just like, oh, I feel like death. And yesterday I fucking, dead honest, I ate a bunch of fucking Mucinex, ate a bunch of fucking ibuprofen, and a couple of Benadryl, and I fucking slept like almost all of yesterday. But feeling better today, so had to make up my video for yesterday. This week we are talking about Juggalo parties and stories from those said parties. I got a couple, actually, and they're both fairly short, so won't be too bad. Anyways, my first one was actually my 18th birthday party. At the time, we were me and some other really close friends had started a kind of a Juggalo group here in Omaha called OSK, or Omaha Serial Killers. And back in this time, like the whole, you know, Juggalo scene was huge in Omaha, huge. And at that time we were like crazy networked. And so for my 18th birthday party, my mom went out and got a hotel room for herself and pretty much gave me the house for 36 hours. She was like, do whatever. If the cops show up, I'm not there. That's on you guys. Make sure the house is clean and don't break nothing, pretty much. And so I, you know, sent out the invite to all the homies and was like, spread it, you know, let's fucking make this pop. I ended up having probably somewhere around 200 people at my house. Had people come up from Lincoln, which is, you know, an hour west of us, you know, the capital, and had some people come up from Kansas, had some people come up from Missouri, had some people come over from Iowa, and ended up with like I think it was like 12 cases of Faygo, not 12 packs, but you know, like the big flat packs that have, I think it's like 24 on it or something like that. But we had like 13, 14 of those, plus fucking, I think probably 50 to 60 fucking 3 liters and 2 liters. And then a couple other people brought like 4 cases of 40s. I don't know, fucking, at that time I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, it was nothing. I didn't do anything like that. I was not very much of a partier, but I would hold, you know, big parties just because my mom was super loose on fucking rules and shit, and she liked it when my friends were over because she could fuck with them, especially if they knew that if she knew that they had been like smoking and stuff. Because one of my buddies, he would come over and he'd smoke all the time, and she'd fuck with him and been like, huh, you look a little high there. And he's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, oh, it would be a shame if you know, you had to wash some dishes so I didn't go and tell your mom. And so she would get him washing dishes. And another time, my mom's boyfriend at the time was like, hey, if you wash the dishes, I'll give you these fucking 3 beers. So he didn't have to do them. And homie washed the dishes. But yeah, we had a big ass party, probably like anywhere from 200 to 250 people, you know, in and out all night. I mean, there was snow on the ground. It was a whole ordeal. Once the snow melted, there were there was a field, well, behind the house. We had like a half an acre yard, and it was just fucking covered in 40s and cigarette butts and everything. It was nuts. It was an awesome ass night. Shit, we ended up partying until like 6 in the morning, and you know, fucking some people passed out, and those people that woke up, you know, people that passed out when they woke up, it was you stayed the night. It's your duty to help me clean, and fucking knocked it all out and had the place back in order by the time my mom got home. And never had the cops or nothing like that. It was never any sort of situation, you know. Neighbors didn't complain, and I mean, we weren't super close to our next door neighbor, but we were probably, you know, a good 100 feet away or so from, you know, the front yard. But yeah, that was probably one of my fucking airplanes. It's probably one of my favorite fucking, you know, Juggalo parties. And then a crazy one that ended up happening later on down the line is we got invited to a mini gathering down in somewhere in Missouri. It was a little small town, but we were down there fucking kicking it, and there was a bunch of people there, and a bunch of the people from Omaha that went down were like, hey, we're gonna take off. It's supposed to start snowing here pretty soon, and we don't want to get stuck. And I had actually ran into a homie that would come up here for shows all the time, that lived in St. Joe. And later on down the line, that was who I ended up starting a rap group with, and or, you know, duo, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And he was just like, hey man, if you don't want to go back already, you can just crash at my place. I'm going up to, you know, I'm going to Omaha later on in the week anyways, so if you want to ride back, I can do that. And so I crashed with him, and ended up getting a call from my homies that had tried to go back to Omaha, and they got hit with a blizzard somewhere in Iowa, and actually fucking slid off the road into a ditch. And so they had to crash at a hotel for 2 days till a tow truck could come and fucking pull their car out, because Iowa was just fucking littered with cars sliding into ditches and semis and all sorts of shit. But it was just really funny, because they called and they were like, man, you lucked the fuck out. And I was like, what are you talking about? And they were like, we slid into a ditch. We're stuck in this hotel room. I was like, oh fuck. But yeah, I ended up making it back home, and no problem. But yeah, those are my two like really big like Juggalo party stories. I mean, when we were running OSK, fucking cigarette. When we were running OSK and stuff, we did like a lot of like little get-togethers. We would meet up in parks and fucking grill, and then play kickball, and then you know, walk around and clean up the park afterward. You know, not just our mess, but you know, every mess that was there. And we would go to Lincoln and meet up with all the Lincoln people down there, and they were running LSK, which was Lincoln Serial Killers. And actually, I think if you look online, you could probably find some of the old sites that we had set up for it and shit. But yeah, that's my Juggalo story, my Juggalo party stories. Drop a like. Let me know what your fucking dopest Juggalo party was in the comments. And I'm out. Peace.